Hi, Dwayne Radacchio from CBMIC Backstage TV. We are in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island for the 2019 ECMAs, and we're having a lot of fun catching up with a ton of Cape Breton artists. So stick around, we'll be back shortly, and we were going to talk to Ben Miller and Anita MacDonald. Welcome back to CBMIC TV. I am joined by Ben Miller and Anita MacDonald. Welcome.
Good to see you, Dwayne.
Thanks for having
Great
us.
to have you here. Awesome. You guys have been like crazy busy, traveling to every corner of the world. Tell us a little bit about what's been going on this past year.
Well, I mean, this last year we released a new album with Zach Cormier on guitar, and Zach's from Prince Edward Island. And we toured a lot in the last year, and I guess one of the biggest tours that we had was we went on a 3-week tour of Austria and Switzerland and Italy, and then we ended up being there for a week in Denmark as well.
That's crazy. As I said, I've talked to several artists, and it's so amazing to see people coming from our little island, and they're all everywhere. They're all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me a little bit about how you guys even came together and started all this.
Yeah, I guess it goes back to 2013 in Cape Breton at Celtic Colours. I was living in Scotland at the time, and I was a journalist, and I came over to do reviews for a music magazine. And I met Anita, who was performing that year. We were backstage hanging out in the green room. A little later than I'll admit on camera, and we just hit it off, and we wound up playing tunes together on the Festival Club stage a couple days later. And about a month after that, she invited me on a tour that she already had booked with another friend of ours, a piano player at the time, and we took off on the road. And we sort of toured back and forth between Canada and a little bit in Scotland, where I was living for the first year. And then I made the move to Nova Scotia, and we've been at it ever since.
That's crazy. That's wonderful. So you do the duo configuration, but you also mentioned Zach. So you do a trio.
That's right.
So is there times when it's more appropriate for that, or is it?
Yeah, I mean, our main kind of project right now is the trio project with Zach, which is some of the material that we showcased today.
Yeah.
And that we will be showcasing this weekend as well. But Ben and I, every now and again, we'll do some duo gigs, and doing the duo gigs is also a great way for us to break into new markets that we haven't been in yet.
Sure.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the trio takes the sound that we've been working on as a duo for years and just incorporates some extra things. Zach's from here in PEI. We met him at the Royal Bay Fiddle Festival in 2015, I guess. And, it's great to have sort of the Acadian influence that he brings to the table in the sound as well. And I think it's really added to sort of the traditional Cape Breton and Scottish stuff that we had already been working on. So it's a really, really fun project for all of us, I think.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. So we mentioned that we're here in Prince Edward Island. There's some official ECMA activity for you guys. So tell us what's going on.
So tomorrow we have a short slot at Radio ECMA with CBMIC, and then we have our official showcase at the Trinity Church, which will be really fun. It's the Warner Roots stage, so we're really happy to be part of that.
Oh, wonderful.
And then on Sunday, we'll finish off the weekend at the Celtic Brunch.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
So
another great
good-
lineup there.
Good little run of gigs,
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a few nods in there as well.
Yeah, we were really lucky this year. We put the new album out last spring when we recorded that in Cape Breton. In a beautiful church in South Haven, which then became the name of the album. So we were really thrilled to have South Haven nominated, not just for Instrumental Album of the Year, but we were nominated for Gaelic Artist of the Year as well, which is a new category. And we're really thrilled to see that come out and see sort of the Gaelic music community being represented in the ECMAs. And
sure.
It's just a really great thing. And nice to see some other fellow Cape Bretoners on the roster there as well.
Yeah. You got to hit it a little close.
Lots of MacDonald.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good. Well, congratulations.
Thanks very much.
That's wonderful. It's no small feat, of course, to do, and certainly all this hard work you guys are doing is starting to get noticed and paying off. I hope that you feel that way. At least.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. So when I listen to you guys, I'm hearing a pretty broad spectrum of like trad music
Mhm.
there. What are some of the influences that make this sound that you guys are?
Well, yeah, I mean, Anita obviously has the really traditional Cape Breton sort of grounding that sort of started the whole thing. And I mean, I guess me coming in from living in Scotland for a number of years, I'm bringing some of that influence, sort of a little bit more of the old world influence, back into the music. And that was sort of the original combination, was sort of that new world meets old world sort of sound. And once we met Zach and started the trio, bringing in, like I said before, the Acadian side of things, which was such a big part of the tradition, not just here in PEI, but also in Cape Breton, in Nova Scotia. That's one of the things that we've been really passionate about, sort of blending those Gaelic sounds and those Gaelic traditions with the Acadian traditions and some of the influence from Scotland as well.
Wonderful. Yeah, well, it comes together quite nicely.
Oh, thanks.
Ben is really the one that likes to get into the old books and pulls out a lot of pipe tunes that either haven't been played in years, or people haven't heard before, and taking those tunes and making them sound relevant today, and like they are part of the repertoire in our scene. And we also, kind of scrounge around for Gaelic songs that haven't been recorded necessarily before. And in the past, we like to kind of have that connection with the song. So we like either things that tie us back to Cape Breton or the Maritimes in some way to make it personal for us.
Yeah, for sure. With a schedule like you guys are carrying, how do you make time to actually record any?
Well, yeah, we realized a couple years ago that you really do have to make time, and that's what it's all about. And it kind of happened by accident a few years ago. We were thinking of going down to the States in the winter, and the visa system has gotten gradually more complicated over the years. So we wound up with a couple months off that we hadn't really planned, and we were sort of thinking, well, what are we going to do with this time? And we had been so busy up to that point that we hadn't really realized that you need that time to create new music, to create something new and become inspired by things. And we took that time just to sit around the house and go through old books and play together, and not the sets that we've been playing night after night after night, just rediscovering all of the reasons that we love this music. And out of that came our most recent album, and it was a pretty big change in sound and style, and really brought together a lot of influences that we sort of discovered in that time. So we've sort of started just saying, looking at the calendar 2 years out, saying, okay, we're going to block some time off, because that's the only way to do it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's got to be a delicate balance, I guess, of, because as you say, when you're on the road and you're delivering your show, it starts to become second nature to some degree, and maybe you get a little tired of that, so you do
after
need
a while,
you got to freshen the brain up again. And that. So coming up, what's going on? What do we got to look forward to?
After ECMAs, we're heading out on tour to California for about 10 days, I guess. And then we'll be around the Maritimes for a little while after that. We have a lot of festivals that are local this year, and a lot of local gigs. So we're excited about that.
That's really good. Yeah. That's really good. And is there anything on the radar? Is there anything that you guys would love to be able to do? Any festivals that you're shooting for?
I mean, we would love to. We haven't, as a trio yet, made it over to the UK, and that's kind of
on
our
checklist.
bucket list.
For sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's a big one for us.
Maybe somewhere down the line there might be some export opportunity we can help with that. That would be great. Ben and Anita's music. Where can people get some streams or downloads?
Well, you can find our music on our website at www.benandanita.com. It's a pretty easy one to remember. And of course on social media, so on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, all over the place.
That's wonderful. So your new album's called South Haven? Awesome. And that's of course on there now, available and ready to go. That's wonderful. I think you guys are going to give us a tune.
Yep.
That'd be wonderful.
And we'll get Zach in the mix
Zach
for this
will
one too.
join for that. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get out of the way and let you guys do that, and then we'll chat again. Dwayne Nardacchio, CBMIC Backstage TV. We're gonna take a break, but when we come back, Ben and Anita and Zach Cormier are gonna give us a tune.
have you here.
Thank you.
Anita.
Thank you.
Great to see you again.
Thanks, Dwayne.
Wonderful. Thanks so much.
Ben and Anita and Zach join us today at CBMIC Backstage TV. A wonderful performance. We've been having a great time with all the musicians that we've hooked up this weekend. I just want to say a quick thank you to our sponsors, ACOA, Atlantic Canada Opportunities Agency, Destination Cape Breton, Breton Brewing Company, 902 Advertising Group, and Rock Pixels Photography for helping making this whole project happen. It's been a wonderful experience for sure. Stick around. We still have more musicians coming up. Again, dial back in, CBMIC Backstage TV. Take care.